Hey, what is happening, you woodchuck and woobats? Today we're taking a look at the deck that I'm probably most hyped to try out and work on from Journey Together. And that's the Mamoswine EX. Before we jump into it though, and I break it all down, because I got some crazy stuff in my build here that I'm super excited to talk about. Gotta give a big shout out to TC Evolutions sponsoring me as a competitor and a content creator in the Pokemon TCG space. They make the highest quality premium accessories in the Pokemon TCG space. Dice, damage counters, you name it, they got it. Dice cases. They do have ability markers and also V-Star markers as well. V-Star markers are going to be a little bit outdated soon, but everything else is going to be still usable, of course. And they also have accessories for other games as well, like Magic and One Piece. So if you're into those, make sure you check those out. Check them out, tcevolutions.com. Link, of course, will be in the description, and code AzulGG over there will get you a discount as well. All right, so let's first talk about Mamoswine before we break down the other crazy stuff we got in here. Mamoswine EX, 340 HP. Got that Mammoth Carry ability. Once on your turn, you may search your deck for a Pokemon and put it into your hand. Pretty powerful ability. And then for 2 fighting energy, Reverberating March does 180 damage plus 40 more damage for each of your stage 2 Pokemon on your bench. So that does sound like a lot, and I get it. It is a lot. Getting that many stage 2 Pokemon in play to be hitting for numbers that are actually going to 1-hit KO our opponent's big Pokemon can be tough. But for the smaller Pokemon, we're really not that far away. We only need like 2 stage 2s on our bench to KO something like, I don't know, a Raging Bolt, right? So yeah, Mamoswine itself, we got that. Now we need to get some other stage 2s on our bench. So of course we're playing the Pidgeot EX. We got a 4-2-3 line of the Mamoswine. The Piloswine, got 4 of the Swine Up, and the Swine Up has a really good attack here. It's got the Call for Family for a colorless energy. Now we're gonna hopefully not be using it, and I'll talk a little bit more about that as we go through this. Got a 2-2-2 Pidgeot line here. Got the Call for Family Pidgey as well. Maybe we go up to the 60 HP Pidgeys. I don't know how afraid of Duskull we need to be going into this format yet. We do also have 2 Pidgeotto in here because Team Evolution is a big part of this deck, and getting Pidgeot is a big part of any deck that you play Pidgeot in. So I wanted to go with the 2 Pidgeotto there. We got 2 Pidgeot EX. Now, there's no great fighting energy acceleration in the format right now. So we got to get a little bit creative. There's a couple different ways we could go about it. There's a Garganacl that accelerates a fighting energy from your discard pile to one of your Pokemon, and then it heals 30 damage from it. But it only has like 180 HP, which means our energy acceleration can be in jeopardy. So I've gone with the Blaziken EX. It's got 320 HP. It is an EX Pokemon, so it's worth 2 prize cards, but 2 prize Pokemon in this deck are like, we already got a lot of them. I mean, Mamoswine here has 340 HP, so we're hoping that thing survives a lot more situations than something like the Pidgeot would, or maybe even the Blaziken would. But we need these other stage 2s on our bench anyway, so we're gonna have those liabilities. So I like the higher HP of the Blaziken. Also the less retreat cost. Garganacl has like 4 retreat costs. That's just silly. This one has 2, and it does the exact same thing. It just doesn't heal. Once on your turn, you may attach a basic energy card from your discard pile to one of your Pokemon. So same kind of energy acceleration, just no healing involved, but I'm okay with that trade-off. So 2-1-2 Blaziken EX line. And then finally, for the last stage 2 we have in here, I've got a 101 Flygon EX. One of the most annoying Pokemon in this format is going to be the Cornerstone Ogerpon EX. And it says it can't be hit by anything with an ability. Mamoswine's got an ability. Pidgeot EX has got an ability. Blaziken EX has got an ability. I looked at a bunch of different options to try and find a card that would be the best answer to a potential Ogerpon EX. And I think the Flygon is the perfect answer. It's got that Reversing Storm, which does 130 damage, so it doesn't 1-hit KO the Ogerpon. It does 2-hit KO it, but then we switch a Flygon to our bench to keep it safe, hidden away from the Ogerpon. We can run to our Pidgeot, we could run to a Mamoswine, something that can just take a hit and then get back into the Flygon and keep Reversing Storming it over and over and over again. Now, I don't play any Pokemon Recovery in this build currently. Now, that might need to change. It might, but for right now, I've got no Pokemon Recovery, so we can only set up 1 Flygon. So if the Cornerstone Ogerpon does punch our Flygon 3 times and then survives, we will probably lose. But if that doesn't happen, we're good to go. Up next, we've got a 1 of Luxray in here. We're all about getting stage 2 Pokemon on our bench, and we're a little bit of a slower deck, so we're probably going to fall behind. Luxray with that Swelling Flash says if it's in our hand and we're behind on the prizes, we can just put it from our hand onto our bench. That's pretty good. And then we also have the Kling Klang in here, which does the same thing if our opponent has a stage 2 Pokemon in play. So a couple of different ways to get some bonus stage 2 Pokemon onto our bench without having to evolve them or rare candy them into play is pretty good when we're trying to hit those high numbers to KO stuff like Dragapult EX. And I do plan to fall behind in most games most of the time, which means not only can we get the Luxray in play, but we can also use that as an attacker with the Reversal Energy in here. We play one Reversal Energy specifically for the Luxray. I mean, see, we can't really use it to attack with anything else. I guess we could attack with Kling Klang with the Hyper Ray, but yeah, Luxray is going to be the main use for that. Now, I've seen most builds not include the Kling Klang as of late. I think early on in the format over in Japan, I did see the Kling Klangs in the Mamoswine decks, but as things have progressed, I've been seeing less Kling Klang and more just Luxray, even like 2 Luxray in builds. So through some testing with the Kling Klang, I might come to the same conclusion that the Kling Klang's not worth it. But the idea of it's so cool, I'm going to keep it for now because I like the idea of it. All right, let's get into the rest of the deck. It is a Arven build. Everything's an Arven build at post-rotation. Every deck is an Arven build, just so you guys know. TM Evos, of course, is going to be a big part. Like I said, we don't want to be attacking with Swinub, and that's because we want to be using TM Evolution to get our Pokemon, our stage 1s or potentially stage 2s into play as soon as possible. It's also a trolley build. I don't think this is necessary, but I ended up going this route, the Precious Trolley build. So we're looking for turn 1 Arven, get a TM Evo, get a trolley, fill up our bench, evolve some of our Pokemon, go from there. For the rest of the supporters, we got 2 Boss, we got 2 Iono, 1 Counter Catcher. Maybe it should be 2 because we do plan on falling behind pretty consistently. And then for the other utility supports, we got 2 Jack in here. Search your deck for 2 evolution Pokemon. I'm not sold on this yet. The idea kind of just came up at the end of building this on stream. So I cut 2 Ultra Balls for 2 Jack because that does sound really, really good. Turn 1, Arven for Precious Trolley TM Evo. Turn 2, Jack, evolve to Pidgeotto, Mamoswine, whatever. Just kind of build up the whole board. Sounds pretty sick. Is it good? I don't know. We'll find out together when I play with this on stream next week. One Turo scenario, can reset Mamoswine pretty aggressively and then Blaziken the energy back into play to just continue keep attacking or get any other liabilities out of play or move stuff around if something gets stuck. One of Iris's Fighting Spirit. I talked about this in my set review. It's just kind of nice to have a supporter that lets you draw cards that is more powerful than Arven or less restricted than Arven. Arven can only get you like that 1 item card, maybe a tool card if you need it in the moment. And it doesn't give your opponent new cards. It's not like an Iono where your opponent gets to get new cards themselves or doesn't shuffle your hand into your deck. And it's not as potentially risky as something like a Research where you discard your whole hand to get 7 new cards. You just have to discard 1 card to draw up to 6. I really like the idea of this card in decks like this as like a one-of. 4 Rare Candy, of course, 2 Ultra Ball, like I mentioned, 2 Buddy Poffin, despite us still having the trolley. In case we prize our trolley, got some Poffins, or later in the game, if we need to find some more basic Pokemon, we have those in there as well. 2 Earth and Vessel to find our energy, of course, the 1 Counter Catcher, like I mentioned. Now let's get into the rest of the tool cards here, because this is really, really cool. We've got 6 basic fightings. We have the Defiance Band in here, which will allow our Luxray to hit 210 damage, which KO stuff like Grass Ogerpon. It also can boost the damage of the Mamoswine to hit higher numbers with less stage 2s on our bench. So we can hit up to like 250 with only 1 stage 2 on our bench to KO something like a Raging Bolt. Or we can get to like 330 if we have 3 stage 2s on our bench. That'll get us to 300. Defiance Band gets us to that 330. Could be a big deal against like a Dragapult or a Charizard. We got a 1 big air balloon. The stage 2 Pokemon this card is attached to has no retreat cost. It'll be really nice to pivot and move around, specifically our Blaziken, or potentially if we put another Mamoswine in play but it has no energy on it and we can't get energy on it, big air balloon to move that around will be nice. And then we have the Rock Chestplate in here, which is big for the amount of HP that Mamoswine has. If a Grass Ogerpon attacks into a Mamoswine that has 2 energy and the Grass Ogerpon has 3 energy, if we have the Rock Chestplate on the Mamoswine, it actually doesn't KO the Mamoswine. So that can be huge up against the Grass Ogerpons. Even if they get that 4th energy on the Grass Ogerpon to get through the Rock Chestplate, that's a lot of resources they had to commit to that knockout, and that might be enough for us to all of a sudden gain control of the prize trade the turn after. Also, up against Golden Go, it'll force an extra energy out of Golden Go. They will need an attachment for turn to the Golden Go plus 8 energy to knock out a Mamoswine, which is a lot of resources they'll have to use. So I really like the Rock Chestplate. I initially had the Hero's Cape in here, but Rock Chestplate roughly does the same thing for the situations we need. Not as good as the Hero's Cape up against Golden Go. That would force another energy out of them, but the Rock Chestplate I still think is pretty solid nonetheless. And like I mentioned, 6 basic lightning, and we got that 1 of reversal energy in here to combo potentially with the Luxray. And that's it. That's my first take on Mamoswine. Heading into rotation, in the Journey Together format. Let me know comment section down below what you like or what you dislike about this build. Let me know what other builds you want to see me come out with, what other archetypes you want to see me come out with a build on, and I'll catch y'all in the next one. Peace.